Okay, and moving on. So this is a bit about myself. My name is Sumit Rai. I've been into entrepreneurship for quite some time now. Been in education as a mentor. I've also the owner of FSFM Services, which is a boutique consulting firm dealing in higher education consulting and management services for the last 15 years. I've also been a part of several beverage and hospitality industry. We known into a startup circle as well in India and helped many companies to scale up from scratch to the growth level. And I keep on doing this still as well, apart from regular education business, which I am into. I've also been mentoring and advising EU Gateway since 2016, because that's where this got founded in. And I personally hold around 15 years of experience in higher education management, specializing in German education. And I did my MBA from Germany, from Hochschule Offenburg, way back in 2006. So you would be hearing whatever you would today, possibly from my side, would be real information which is coming directly from an alumni from Germany. So moving on. So this is about today's agenda. We will be talking about bachelor's and master's program and the career path and whether it is the right combination to pursue when you move ahead with your education in Germany, followed by bachelor's in business education. So you have a general bachelor's in business administration program versus specialized programs like industrial engineering or artificial intelligence, data science, or topics like these. So you would have a clear view and distinction between why a normal bachelor's versus why a specialized bachelor's, and what value these programs bring in when you move ahead with your studies. What are your career options available after bachelor's in business would also be discussed today. We will also be touching about the master's program and its perspective, and what could we expect from a German market after you're done with your master's studies from Germany. And this is in general discussion, not focused on only business education. So you would also understand more about different kind of studies in masters which you would do, and what kind of career prospects you could have in Germany. We would also be touching briefly on why supply chain management, because Khuene Logistic University is known for its supply chain management and logistics programs, and is the #1 university in Germany for these topics. So if you have a keen interest in knowing and learning about supply chain and logistics related topics, we will be touching that today, and along with what are the prospects which you have for an industry. What are the trends in supply chain would also be discussed, followed by if you are a non-business background student, how could you still fit into a supply chain management program. So let's welcome our guest. We have Kim Lukoush from international recruitment team from KLU, Khuene Logistic University, Hamburg. Hello, Kim. Welcome on this Saturday morning, rather. Joining in from Hamburg, taking time out and helping our students who are joining us as well from all across India.
Thank you, Sumit. Hi, good morning, everyone.
And we have another guest, which is Patricia Bendale. She is in charge of master's program recruitment and has been with the KLU for the past 2 years. And she would be taking us through to the supply chain management topics and various perspective with various career perspective which a student would have once they pursue their studies from Germany. So please welcome them. You can put your message in the chat box. Welcome our guests, and I'm going to now pass it on to our guest with the first topic of today, which is okay, why bachelor's and master's perspective together, and why it is important. How how does it make sense to do bachelor's and master's together from Germany, and what career perspective does it offer? Yeah, over to you, Patricia and Kim.
Thank you so much,
I'll
Sumit.
stop my
Hi,
screen share.
everyone.
Yeah, I'll just stop my screen share, and then
Okay.
yeah, if you have something to share, you can definitely then directly share it.
Perfect. So, I mean, first of all, to everyone, welcome. Thank you for being here on your Saturday. We know that your time is very valuable, so we appreciate that you're spending it with us today. Feel free to put any comments during the presentation in the chat. We'll be taking a look on it. And of course, together with Kim and I, we have today our student ambassador, Akshat Jain, which is second semester master student at KLU. So if you also have questions of like how life is, you have the experience of Sumit in the alumni side, but you also have a current student. So you have a lot of information that I think will be very valuable if you are considering studying abroad, either even if it's in Germany or studying abroad anywhere, because of course the moving part of it and the new experience is similar in all the parts. So with that, I'm just gonna start sharing my presentation. And I will be handing over to Kim because the first question was going about bachelors. So I think it will be Kim, the right person to talk about it. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see your screen.
So let's go then.
Perfect. Okay. Good. All right. Let's dive right in. Just to make clear how the division in our team is as well. So I will be presenting on Bachelor because I am in the KLU student recruitment team responsible for our undergraduate programs, which also include a pathway program. And Patricia is managing the master section of this presentation because she's also in the team responsible for our master programs. So let's look at Bachelor versus Master. What career path to take? Is it the right combination? Is it necessary for you guys to do both to get the best chances later on then to work in Germany? Let's just look a little bit on these things. A bachelor degree in general is always in the world, of course, but in Germany a little bit more specialized. It's the first academic degree after your high school. So bachelor degrees in Germany especially, they always teach the basic knowledge of a subject because this knowledge that you get in university, of course, has to be made accessible to a broad range of students that come from different academic backgrounds, because you know all high school systems around the world are differently in every country, and so you really need to adjust what you're doing in university then to see that the people who come from different academic backgrounds start off with the basic stuff so that they don't fall behind if they decide to study abroad. So this is why you always start with the very basic knowledge of a subject. And usually a bachelor degree in Germany also covers a rather broad study field, for example, general business or engineering. There are also specialized bachelor programs in Germany already, but I will go into more detail on that in the next slide. But just to keep it in mind, a bachelor degree is usually always a little bit broader because you need to have that basic knowledge first. Then the master degree is obviously the second academic degree that you can do after a bachelor degree. So the way it's designed is that it's already, it should teach a more enhanced and more in-depth knowledge of a subject, which is kind of based on the basis of the previous degree already. So when you choose a master and you've already done a bachelor in a certain field, then it makes sense kind of to do something similar. Or most universities also say that you can only enter a master degree when you've already studied something similar in your bachelor degree, because otherwise, you know, it's again the problem of the knowledge levels that they don't match. So if someone decides to study business in their bachelor and then say that they want to do computer science in their master, this doesn't work most of the times because they don't have the necessary knowledge and the base that they need in order to do a master degree and study a different subject on a more on a deeper level. So we say bachelor degree is more general and master degree is a little bit more in detail in the specific subject. So then if we have, for example, the example of business, one could say that a student who studied business in their bachelor's degree can then, for example, do something like business law in their master's, because that kind of matches. And it's also then a specialization because they do specialize on law in their master's degree. From my experience as a recruiter and also as a previous student who has done a bachelor and a master degree, I would say that students who have studied both bachelor and master are more qualified in the end and have better career chances. And here's why. In terms of the German job market, master graduates are just more competitive in their field. Because for one, they have, of course, 2 degrees. So they have one basic degree, and then they have another degree on top. And also the knowledge level is, of course, higher if you have done 2 degrees instead of just 1. So master graduates would be getting jobs more easily when applying for certain positions than someone with a bachelor degree who applies for the same position. This, of course, depends on the tasks that are asked for in that position that you apply for. Some companies say that they specifically look for only bachelor graduates because they want to train them on the job. They want to make additional qualifications and trainings available to the graduates when they're already in the position. And others say that they would rather hire a master graduate in this position just because they know more and they've done more already. In general, you could also argue that master graduates have it easier to enter more senior positions. So usually for positions in management and leadership, so really high up in the hierarchy of a company, usually only master graduates can enter that kind of sphere. And of course, if you're a master graduate, the possibility to have a higher salary and to also have that kind of salary range that reaches higher every time you get a promotion is the possibilities are just higher than bachelor graduates who usually stop at a certain salary level in Germany and when they also stop at a certain position. So you just have really more possibilities if you do a master's as well and then start to work. And of course, if you think on a personal level, if you do a bachelor's and then not a master's, maybe you think, okay, I'm not missing out on anything. But for people who are really motivated and enthusiastic about a certain field and they want to have, just have a career, then it's also important to develop their own skill set and knowledge as much as possible. And there, a master program is definitely a very good way to do so and to also qualify yourself and your own skills as much as possible. Okay. And let's move on. Oops, that was too fast. To the next.
Okay. Yes, I think let me just quickly recap the first slide. Thank you, Kim. I think this is a very classic comparison which you did between bachelors and you should have bachelors plus masters, and I can relate this to my own experience, which I can put all the topics, all the points which Kim touched about. German job market, you get competitive, you get senior positions, you get higher salaries, and your skills are always been valued more as compared to only a bachelor grad student. Well, I did my bachelor's from India way back in 2002, and I came to Germany in 2004 to do my MBA. And once I did my master's degree, or when you call it an MBA degree, which that's what I did. My starting salary in Germany was 35,000 euros way back in 2006. So I think this is far more than what I could have earned or managed while simply having a bachelor's degree in India or even abroad. So this is a very classic example. So I am a live example that why you should have bachelor's plus master's degree as a combination, because you actually stand out and you are more competitive in the market and you command more salaries. So this is a very important topic, I think, which everybody should have in mind when they are looking either to do their studies in India, or if they are looking to do their studies and a career abroad. Thank you, Kim. Let's move on to the next topic. Yeah.
Okay. So the next topic is then the question of what kind of bachelor to choose. Should you choose a broad bachelor versus a specialized bachelor? I already touched upon that a little bit in my previous explanation. What is the difference, and yeah, what gets you farther in the job market in the end? There, I would say you should definitely keep in mind two things. There is no one answer for all people, obviously, because everyone has different goals in life. Everyone has different imaginations of what their life and their work should look like. But you should first start off with the question of what do you want to do and how do you think you can get there? So when I graduated from high school, I had no idea what my life should look like. I knew what I was good at and what I was bad at. So I knew kind of in which direction I could go. I knew that I could never study mathematics or anything because I don't like numbers. But I didn't have that clear job position in mind where I could say, I want to be a diplomat or I want to be an engineer. And then it's clear that if you Google that, you know what kind of subjects to choose in your bachelor's degree. So sometimes it takes a little bit of brainstorming on your part to just get your head wrapped around to know what you should actually study in order to then work. So I would first start by asking yourself, which subjects do you enjoy studying in school? Are those subjects where you're also good at? Can you kind of combine these two? And then a very important question is, just because you like something in school, can you imagine doing something like this 3 years in a bachelor's degree, or even 2 more years in a master's degree? Can you imagine working in that field later? So you should really look at the bigger scope of how much invested am I into the subject or in this field? Can I imagine spending my life thinking and working with this the whole time? And then, of course, do you have a career path in mind already? Where do you see yourself after university? And would your career imagination, would that affect your choice in a major maybe? Or would you say, okay, I just want to study this for fun and then do something completely differently afterwards? So these are the kind of thoughts that you need to keep in mind. And then, of course, the second step would be to research on how to achieve your goals then. So if you know that you want to work in a highly specialized field later, it is recommended to focus on that already in your bachelor degree, because that, if you know that you're looking at something that's so specific, such as artificial intelligence or something, then of course it doesn't make sense to do a bachelor in business first. Then you should definitely go already into computer science in your bachelor, and then study something like artificial intelligence in your master's degree later, for example. And then on the other hand, if you're unsure about what to do, or if you're open to different fields and you don't know yet, I like math, but I also like languages, then I would definitely suggest to start with the broader subject in your bachelor, and then if applicable, specialize later in your master's degree. Also because your thoughts might change. You can change your mind, you know, you can really feel that 2 semesters into your bachelor's degree, you find that you don't like that program at all, and then you can still just switch. But it's definitely easier if you've already studied a bit to switch if you're studying something that's a bit broader, because otherwise you would have to start from the beginning again at a different university or in a different program. And if you have studied something already that could provide you some credit points for the next program that you're doing, that's just also really helpful. So just to reiterate, you can always change tracks in your studies. You can always change careers later on in life, but it's easier to do so if you've been studying something that can be adapted to other fields of work, or that you can use in other work areas, branches of industry, etc., where these skills are also used. And then also, if you find that later on in life, you would like to do a career change, you don't want to work in the same job for the rest of your life, then this is definitely also easier. And I think this goes for the German job market as well as for all the other markets in the world. It's just easier if you have a solid general base of knowledge and not just highly specialized skills that make you unattractive for any other work fields. And I just want to say one more time, in terms of German bachelor degrees, they are mostly designed in an interdisciplinary way. So this means that they are designed in a broader way. You cover more core subjects in your first semesters, and then maybe have some specializations in the later semesters. But the main specialization, the really specialized courses, are definitely happening on master level. Okay.
Great. Once again, to recap, I think Kim has touched all the topics which we as counselors usually talk to our students regarding to start with their career goals, and accordingly then choose the subjects in bachelor or moving on to masters. And this is what precisely Kim has explained in this slide, why you should take a normal bachelor's degree vis-a-vis to a specialized bachelor's if you already know about your careers, if you already know what you would like to study. I think this has been very clearly explained and very informative for the students here to choose, to understand that why you should have pre-information about what you want to do with your life, how you want to see your career, how you want to see the industry you want to work with. And accordingly, those subjects selections are done at bachelor's level or moving on at master's level, even though if you have a general bachelor's. Masters would still give you those skill sets which will take you closer to your industry goal or to your career goals. Thank you, Kim, for this informative slide as well. Now we move on to our next topic, which is career chances after bachelor's degree.
Sorry to cut you guys off. I don't know if that's what has been seen in the presentation for everybody, but
no,
there was a little...
so I have actually removed that person who was doing this misprint, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, because he was constantly doing something on the presentation, which is something
Yes.
wasn't clear. Purav, can you check? We can remove this.
I'm just gonna stop sharing and share again so that
Possibly, I
it
think
goes
that
away.
that way it would be good. Yeah, please do so.
I hope so. Yeah. I'm sorry
I
for
don't know how
that.
these guys does it. They put it on the screen. I don't know what kind of pen they have to put it directly on the presentation. They
Let's
don't have
go.
access to that, which is sometimes strange.
I'm gonna share again the screen, and
Yeah.
I hope that it just goes nice from here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Over to you, Kim.
Okay. Good. So last topic. Oops. Patricia, your presentation went in the wrong mode again.
You have the control, Kim.
Yeah, I'm just.
Okay. There we go.
There we are. Okay. So the last topic from the bachelor side of things are the career chances after graduating from a bachelor's degree. If you decide to not pursue a master, which of course is totally fine, what can you expect? Where can you work? Yeah, what are the basic things also from the KLU side, because of course this is where we come from. What do our graduates usually do after graduating from a bachelor's degree, which is in our case a bachelor's in business administration because we're a business school. Graduates with a bachelor degree in business can work basically anywhere in general management, because what I said before is that our program is pretty broad and it covers a lot of subjects that are related to business management, economics, but then also a little bit about accounting, business law, logistics. So just really a variety of things that can come in really handy when you actually want to look at career options directly after graduating from this degree. But they are designed, or this program is designed for students to then find work basically in any industry in the general management field. So usually these are broader positions. They're of course not specialized, because students who graduate with a bachelor, especially with a bachelor in business, do not have the knowledge necessary for a specialized position. And at KLU, our graduates mostly enter the economics and logistics sector. And the main areas where they start to work is in finance, in sustainability, and in humanitarian logistics. We also have students that go more in the logistics direction in terms of supply chain management. Then also maritime logistics is a pretty popular field, also because if they intend to stay in Germany and if they want to stay in Hamburg, maritime logistics is just really what happens right outside of our threshold. Because we have the harbor directly before our doors. So this is really where logistics happens, and also shipping and containers and everything. So this is a very attractive field for our graduates especially. But then of course we have also big production companies in Germany in general, and Hamburg as well. And then there's also the automotive and aviation industry. Hamburg, for example, has Airbus directly in the city. So this is something where students like to go for their internships, and then as well for a starting job after graduation. And then of course, we also have those students with us that are really focused on business and the business consulting sphere already in their studies. And they then prefer to go into consulting, and also there are some students in every year who are very entrepreneurial already in their studies. and they know that they want to do their own startup or that they want to be part of a startup after they graduate. So they also go into that kind of consulting sphere or business sphere after they graduate. And then we have a few that go into a little bit different directions after they graduate with the business degree. So they can also go into marketing or into human resources. And just to give you 3 examples of our bachelor graduates, recent bachelor graduates, there are more graduates who do a master's degree after they graduate from KLU. But one of our students who graduated last year, she is now working in consulting for McKinsey, which is in the top 3 of the consulting companies worldwide. And she's doing a traineeship there. So this is also something that you need to keep in mind when you graduate from the bachelor's degree in Germany and you want to start working at a company, is that in some cases you don't get into a real position right away, because companies, especially big companies who have like an employee development program and so on, they tend to hire graduates on a very basic level and really do on-the-job training with them or traineeships with them, where they kind of qualify them some more. It's usually a 1 year or 1.5 year program where they then go through different departments in the company and just really get to know everything and all the processes from the beginning, and just get an on-the-job training before they then are put into a certain position. And this is something that happens more frequently now, especially with bachelor graduates, just because they tend to get younger and younger when they graduate. And when you start your bachelor's degree at the age of 18 and then you're done at 21, you're really so young that you could just use a little bit more guidance and support from your workplace. And this is why these programs are in place. And then there are 2 other examples that I'd like to mention from students doing a master's degree, just because that is the case at KLU. There's one student from Luxembourg who studied our bachelor's in business, and he then went on to a marketing degree in France after graduation. And of course, he studied business, so this is not exactly related to marketing, but since we do have a core course integrated into the program that is focusing on marketing, he was able to get admitted with this kind of small credit that he already has from his bachelor's degree. And this is also just really to reiterate the importance of studying something broad in your bachelor's degree, because that gives you the options of studying a lot of different master degrees in the end. And then the third example is of a German graduate who decided to stay in the business management field. And he's actually now at the University of St. Gallen, which is one of very famous universities for management and leadership in Switzerland. And he's also studying a master in management there. So in general, to wrap up this topic, I would also just like to enhance the fact that definitely an international degree, a degree in English from Germany is very valuable when you go out into the world and want to study and want to either study abroad further or want to work internationally. But I would say if you want to stay in Germany or stay in the German-speaking realm of the EU or the surrounding countries, then your career chances are higher when you have a basic command of German as well. This makes you more competitive in the market. Of course, when you study in Germany, you will definitely learn some German, and you will definitely have the chance to do German language courses. But the higher your German level is, the better. So yeah, this is everything from my side. And then we can move over to talking about the master topics.
Yep, perfect. Thank you, Kim. Students, I hope you got just about the career opportunities available for you right after the bachelor's degree, and which area and sector you can go in if you have a right kind of a degree from or right kind of a bachelor's degree from a German university. So there are options available as well. Uh, if you only have a bachelor's degree and you want to go into a career or into a job market, there are opportunities, uh, there are careers which you could make. Of course, the master's degree adds up to it, giving you a more fresh, rather fresh, more solid start in your career with a higher salary, and as mentioned earlier, regarding the leadership position which you could command by a master's degree over a startup bachelor's degree. So thank you, Kim, for presenting these thoughts. I hope and I'm really hoping that these are very, very interesting thoughts for students to know, and they would definitely benefit once they include bachelor's or master's program in their career, in their path towards their career goal, if they are in Germany. Okay, now we move on to the next topic. I think it's about master's perspective, and Patricia would take over. Patricia, over to you. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go check a little bit in the masters. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. First, because I'm a Spaniard, so I talk fast. And second, because I've seen that there is already questions coming up, and I'm so happy about that. And I don't want to take time off of your questions, because that's the most valuable part of this whole masterclass. So let's check a little bit on the master side. Like we have seen from Kim's perspective, what it is that you can achieve when you have a bachelor's degree. And as she said, of course, if you have a bachelor's plus a master's degree, you have bigger chances and better chances to get into the job market, to get better salary in Germany. So we're gonna have a little bit of a quick look on the job opportunities and how the job market develops for those who have completed a master's degree. Whoever is out there who say like, yeah, I don't have a bachelor in business, I have a bachelor in something specific, but I actually would like to come into managerial roles. Well, at KLU, we have a master's in management. That will be a perfect complement to have that business knowledge if you are already an engineer or a computer scientist or so on and so forth. We also are going to, please mute your, yeah, thank you. We also are going to be checking on supply chain specifically today, since that is, let's say, the niche program that KLU is offering. So starting with the job opportunities in Germany, they're opening more and more to international population. And the biggest reason of this is that the Germany population is aging. So there'll be more older people in a couple of decades from now than working average people. So Germany pretty much needs these skilled workers from abroad to come here to fill up the work labor, like the labor force. There is this big need for foreigner talent. You can see there are some figures, like 55% of companies are already viewing the shortage of skilled workers as a problem, as a risk for their companies to survive within time. And by 2034, it is expected that there is going to be way less workers than what it's needed for the German system to, let's say, survive the aging of their population. You can see in the screen what are like some of the most demanded skilled professionals in Germany. Of course, STEM careers like science and technology and engineering are one of the most demanded professions. And those are very much comprised into what you can develop farther within the supply chain management industry. So industrial engineers, mechanical engineers, in general, all kinds of engineers that have a bachelor completed. A good second step is going into supply chain, because pretty much supply chain is within all the industries. So as Kim said, aviation, automotive, but of course logistics, but really retail and fashion. Like, you have supply chain in any single product that you can imagine. And as you can see there, there's also a big demand for economists and business management experts, which is a little bit the other focus of KLU. But of course, if you see your career in that list, means you have a chance in Germany. So feel free to step a foot on this country, because it's great. And as a master graduate, what is that you can expect in your salary? Well, this is a great statistics. I actually was very happy to find statistics from 2020, so that's very recent. And you can see there by field what is the starting salary. So that will be what you should expect to start earning as a graduate. Of course, if you have more experience in other factors, you can expect more. And of course, there are some companies that pay a bit less, but it will all depend. And you can see that the expectations of salary for people who have a master's, so like that are already specialized, is pretty good in comparison to the average in Europe. So average salary in Germany is around 42,000 euros in the total. But when we're focusing in like science, technology, engineering, mathematics, so like the STEM careers, we can expect that the starting salary point is going to be way above that average of 42,000 a year. We can expect to earn that much more or less, but of course, the salary also depends on other many factors that can increase or decrease your salary expectations. So, for example, if you have previous experience, that is definitely going to be valued in the German market. As Kim was saying, in the business level, same as in the master's, if you have some knowledge of German, that's also very important for your for the value you bring into the company. Same thing with special certifications. If you have a special knowledge or a special certification, if you're an SAP certified, if you know about agile management, for example, there are certain specific tools or processes that are highly on demand and therefore are going to be also paid better. And of course, your own negotiation skills. Prices, like salaries in Germany are categorized. So there is like certain boundaries that employers should not trespass, at least in the down part. In the upper part, well, if you negotiate very well, maybe you get a lot of money. But of course, there is always a little bit of a negotiation process. And if you know what you're worth and you fight for what you're worth, then of course you can achieve a better salary from the start. In my opinion, in Germany, it's better to negotiate your salary at the start point than to ask for a raise. So there's some people that say, oh, well, I'll take this job because I need it and I'll take whatever they offer me. But then if I am good, then maybe in a year I can ask for a raise. Maybe not. So it's better that you start negotiating what you're worth from the beginning so that they can see your value than trying to negotiate in 6 months or 1 year. About each specific person, you guys are all different. So I wanted to give you a tool so that you can go and check what will be your salary expectation, conforming with your education, with your demographics, and where do you want to live. You can search, this tool is called Payscale. It's a free tool. You can just go payscale.com and you can search and specify by location and by the desired position and enter your skills. If you have any specific certifications, there's also a possibility to put that there, and the type of employer or even the company that you want to work for. And of course, you can define as well your education. So I have this bachelor's degree, I have this master's degree, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a great tool for those who are interested in knowing better what you can expect. And it's more like tailor-made to your specific case. Of course, this is arranged and it's based on database, so it's not going to be perfect, but you can use it as a tool to have a better understanding of what you should expect from it. And I have also found very interesting that since you can put your demographics, so like your age, your nationality, your gender, it is a very, very good tool for women to see if there is a salary breach in your specific field of work. So if you search with the same topic and you search for female, saying that you're a female, and then you search again, and then you put exactly the same thing and you check if you are a male, you can see if that will make a difference. If it does make a difference, if men are paid more, don't take it, because Germany should be, and if it's not, it is upon being an equal rights payer. So if you see that men are making 2,000 more, then you should be making, when you go to your interview, ask for those 2,000 more, because you're worth it. Yeah, finally, I also wanted to express that it's not all about the money. There is also the importance of the work conditions. And I have a feeling that they're very different in different countries. So what to expect from your work in Germany, apart from the salary expectation, you can also expect that you're gonna have a good balance of work and life. Germany in general is very good for that, and therefore, for this reason, it has in different rankings, it's always ranked upon the 10 best countries to live in and to work in. Of course, depending the first or the fifth or the 10th, depending on the ranking, but it's normally in those 10 first ones. So, and one of the reasons is because they take very seriously this balance between work and life. So you should be expecting that you're going to be working 5 working days a week, 40 hours a week. Normally, typically Sundays are off. Of course, this is specific in supply chain management, I would say, is more dependable because you know, production doesn't stop most of the time, so they work on shifts, but you should expect to have days off if it's not Sunday. In normal regulations is that you cannot work more than 10 hours maximum per day. So the overtime is not a daily thing in Germany, and the extra time is always paid or is compensated with some extra vacation days. As per vacation days, you should expect to have in most of the companies between 24 and 30 paid vacation days of like working days. So if you work from Monday to Friday, you would not be accounting for Saturday or Sunday. So it's like real days of work. And the minimum by law is 20 days a year. So if somebody offers you less, unless you have a part-time, you should say, I should have 20 days a year. And of course, I could go in a lot of detail, so I'm not going to. You can research, but there is a lot of benefits as for a retirement fund, health insurance, unemployment, parental leave, sick leave, and so on and so forth. It is really a social system that is very, very well structured. So you always know that somebody has your back if you have any struggles in life or any different situations that require that balance. So I would say that's more or less what to expect if you're a master's graduate from the job market in Germany.
Excellent. I think, thank you, Patricia. This is wonderful information, which a lot of people keep on looking, Googling it and checking with a lot of their friends and colleagues and alumni. But I think you just, put it all out here with respect to the job conditions currently visible in Germany and how one can structure their career moving ahead after their master's degree. This is a very hands-on information, and I'm sure a student would appreciate this information. Thank you, Patricia. We'll move on to the next slide.
Yep. Now we're going to talk specifically about supply chain. I want to clarify you a little bit why supply chain, what is it important about it, and why is it booming right now? You might have read, if you're like into business articles and things like that, you might have read in the last year and a half, mostly since pandemic started, even more so because of the big difficulties that we had in the logistics of everything with lockdowns. And you will see that supply chain, even though it faced in the part of logistics, it faced a little bit of a shake last year, precisely for the pandemic. Now is kind of like recovering from that bottom and going speed up. Biggest reasons for this we are going to talk about. So as you can see here, there are some of the research studies that I've recovered from Business Wire and from the BCC research. So two very good business research sources that they state in one side, the global supply chain management and is speeding the market volume, and it's projected to reach the 37.41 billion by 2027. It's growing to a compound annual growth rate that is expected to grow 11.2%, which is absolutely crazy. And specifically within the supply chain management, the supply chain analytics, all related to big data and to how produce like predictive analytics on supply and demand is even growing farther than that. It's a 15.8% till the period of 2019 and 2024. Only logistics, which is little part of the supply chain, is growing at a steady 5% since 5 years ago, and it will continue being the same. So if you compare it to other fields, you can see that the growth is immense in comparison with other fields, that the average is between a 2 and a 4%, the best. So 15, it says all by itself. And what are the reasons for that? So, well, the reasons for that mainly are 5. Of course, there are more that are implied into this ones, and we could structure further. And if you come to KLU, you will learn. But mainly like the globalization, we are living in a global world. Nobody can deny that for now. So there is a huge necessity of transportation and of supply and demand in different parts of the world. Nobody is waiting anymore to have, Germany produce what you want to have. If you want to have it and it's in China, you get it from China or you get it from the US. So we are working in a global market now. For sure, second reasons is the need of a higher standardization of processes. That's together with that third reason. So traditionally, supply chain management was something that was learned by doing. There was not such a specialized degree for it back in the days. So people will come from different backgrounds. A lot of people coming from business, a lot of entrepreneurs, engineers, etc., and they will just enter the supply chain of their business, of their industry, and kind of like learn on the go. Now that that has finished, that has ended, and now that part of the research is also more professionalized. So companies are in need to make their processes and their product making more effective, so that they can reduce costs, so that they can maximize profit, maximize timing, and be where the demand is at the time that the demand is there. So therefore, they have gone a step further, and globalization has made this happen quite faster. For the same reason, like we need to be competitive, not anymore in a national market, but now in a global market. So there is a bigger need for all these processes to be more professionalized. And that, of course, gives us to the fourth reason, which is technology. Technology enters in the field precisely for this need of professionalizing it more and to make everything more effective. So digitization is a big part of the supply chain now, how we can use technology in favor of the supply chain, in favor of the timing, and in favor of predicting the demand of the products. As you will see, more and more business schools are realizing these needs. KLU is an expert of this since we started. This is where we came from a bunch of experts saying, hey, we need to professionalize this. And at the moment when KLU started, I think there was only one other university that was offering a logistics specific and supply chain management program. So we're kind of pioneers, even though we are a very young university, we're kind of pioneers and experts in the field of supply chain management. I would say here, I would love to ask our student ambassador how he sees that, like how he sees this development of the supply chain market.
So the thing about supply chain right now is that it's available, it's present in every field. So wherever you go, you have supply chain. And for me, that was the point of decision that no matter what field I select, I know that I'll always have something to look forward to. And it's changing so rapidly that every day you learn or you have some new insight in supply chain. And like Patricia said, it's learning by doing. So that's what even KLU specializes in. So we generally have classes, but it's more like a discussion session where students learn with discussing with the professor and using project works. So that's why I feel that supply chain is something that we will see a major growth in future.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you, Akshay, for this brief overview on supply chain. Okay, let's continue, and then we'll get into Q&A with Akshay as well as we progress.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about the new trends in supply chain so that you have a little bit of more of an idea of what you can encounter or where does this field goes towards, because when we think supply chain, at least that was my perspective always, we think of big containers, big shipments on a ship, right? And we don't realize that what Akshat was saying, like it really is present in every single field. So if you are an artisty person and you like fashion design, you're gonna find supply chain too in retailing. So it really is, it's overall, and it's moving forward so fast in a very scientific ways that I think are very, very interesting and much more catchy, I guess, for 22-year-old people that maybe have finished already their bachelors and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do anything to do with containers, but there's so much more into it. So let's look where this is going towards. I'm not an expert, so pardon me if I make any mistakes, but basically these are some of the biggest trends that are right now in the sight of everybody in supply chain. First, we start with digitization. We talked about this a little bit before. Basically, new technologies enter in the supply chain process. So that give up for uncountable possibilities of growth and different developments of the processes within the different supply chain fields in industries to, of course, reduce cost, to augment the productivity, and to increase the effectiveness and the speed of the processes. Second one would be sustainability. This is undeniable. We need to grow the industry, but the world supply has to come in a sustainable way. We cannot keep, screwing our world more than we have done it in the last decades. And there's an undeniable impact of the climate change to everywhere in the world, but also we have seen it, other threats like pandemics, like things that we didn't even expect were a thing before. So the industry is seeing now how we can move to the future in a sustainable way that will not affect our planet in a bad way. The third one I will talk about is agile supply chains, basically based on the need of the companies to faster adapt to unpredictable changes. We had a great example precisely with the pandemic. So all of a sudden a pandemic starts, and in less than a month, everybody wants hand sanitizer, everybody needs masks, everybody needs medical devices, and the supply was not ready for that. So there is a need for more agile supply chains so that these things can be changed in time, quick, faster than traditionally was being done. Next will be big data analytics. Of course, big data is also making a big impact on all supply chain activities. It ranges from improving the delivery time to identifying ways to reduce the communication gap between the manufacturers and the suppliers. And the analytics reports are enabling the decision makers of supply chain management to achieve more operational efficiency and to monitor the performance to improve that productivity and that speed of reaction. Fifth of the strengths, it will be the predictive analytics. This is something that supply chain has been thriving for years and years, which is basically allowing organizations to determine the optimal inventory levels, like to know when the demand is going to happen so that they are ready for whenever that happens, being one step ahead instead of being a reacting industry, being a predicting industry. And of course, there is going to be a big importance, both of the big data and of the artificial intelligence in this sense. And finally, blockchain, which not only depending on, not only meaning cryptocurrencies or things like that, but also the whole part of the blockchain that simplifies the globalized world. And in supply chain, it has been used to increase mostly the transparency and the traceability of the products and of the services. So for one quick example, because it was difficult for me to understand, so I wanted to find a quick example so everybody can picture what that means in reality. Walmart has been using blockchain in their supply chain for a bunch of years now, 3, I think, and they're utilizing the technology basically in order to add transparency to their food supply ecosystem, and they basically digitize the entire supply chain process of food. The way that they do is that they make it all the process transparent and traceable, and so the employees can simply track the products from its origin. So they can scan in seconds a dozen of products to know where the fruit, for example, is coming from, and they know where that orange has come from, like what has been the whole step till it's in the Walmart supermarket. So it's kind of a like very cool thing if you're also interested in supporting certain causes or certain countries as a consumer, and definitely as an employee of the supply chain processes. So finally, just to give you a little bit of an idea, to get out the whole concept of big ships and big containers, you can imagine yourselves maybe working in designing drone, developing drone technology, or artificial intelligence, or 3D printing, or the Internet of Things, which is going to be a big one in supply chain, or autonomous vehicles, which I think is going to be also a big one once they keep developing. Finally, I wanted to say that you don't have to be a super tech person to work in supply chain, because normally we think supply chain, we think this, like a product that is created, is shipped, and logistics. We pretty much think of logistics, and logistics is a very small part of the supply chain. It looks more like this. So it's all over the place. There is communications involved, there is science involved, there is marketing involved, there is negotiations skills involved. So what will be the traditional sides of supply chain management, like the traditional areas, as a matter of fact, they're all needing people skills and workers that maybe are not necessarily so techy, but they have these people skills, the soft skills. So if we think about sourcing, we'll definitely need negotiation skills for that and organization skills for purchasing. Manufacturing, for example, we will definitely need team leading. So of course, the manufacturers and people who designs and create and controls the industries, the machines will be technical, but there's team leaders to organize all that people. Inventory management requires a lot of organization and attention to detail, so things don't go crazy and they're under control at all times. Demand planning requires a lot of marketing research. So all those people who are like more into marketing, they can also be part of the supply chain. Warehousing, for example, a lot of process strategy, packaging design, etc. Transportation requires a lot of innovation and planning for different types of transportation and logistics. So to make the routes more effective, to get the product faster to the demand. Customer service, not to talk about it. So marketing, sales, people skills all over the place. Nobody cares about the techie people. Customer service is all about giving a good people perspective to those customers. So yeah, you can here see very quick, I did a job search on what are the most demanded positions at the moment in Germany in the supply chain. And you can see, of course, there is some senior positions, but also there's a lot of starting junior positions. And you can see there that all those that have like a little person by the side are positions that require a lot, even more so, of people skills on top of the technological or like analytical skills. So if you are saying, yeah, well, I don't know anything about artificial intelligence, I'm not a techie person, I'm not a computer scientist, it doesn't matter, there is also a role for you. And the good thing of supply chain is that the needs might change in your life, where you want to be more on field or you want to be more in an office, or you know, you can, once you are inside the supply chain, you can even just like jump in the different positions and you can change careers much more easily than if you have always been, I don't know, a certain type of worker, and then, you know, kind of like have to stick to it. We never know if in 5 years from now you will be tired of your current job, which is more likely than not. And people need that development, and supply chain allows you for that development. Yeah, so if it sounds interesting.
I think, yes, it does sounds very interesting. Thank you so much, Patricia. You gave an excellent overview about supply chain management and the new technologies which are now has become a part of this entire field. A lot of interesting roles, a lot of interesting jobs which a student, a supply chain management student could look forward to in Germany. And if he or she graduates from Khuene Logistic University, you can keep this in mind, that your future in supply chain or logistics is more or less secure after passing out from Khuene Logistic University. I think this is a specialized university in this field, and they've been operating for more than 10 years, and with a very strong industry connection in supply chain and logistics. I think your career goal are easily achievable if you pursue any of your studies from Khuene Logistic University, and more so knowing about so much interesting development which is happening at the moment in supply chain. I think sky is the limit for the right person, and then the growth is tremendous. So thank you so much for bringing all these facts, Patricia. I think the student would understand more about supply chain and why one can look forward to this field as their future career.
Thank you so much. I think we had much more to share, but I'm being also very aware of the time. Yeah. And I think that we can, Kim, we can maybe share the presentation later with Sumit so that he sent it over to every single person, because of course KLU has the right programs for all what we have talked about, and the right career support for what we have talked about. But I think we will be cutting very short if we go through everything. And I would like to really hear the experience of Akshat. And I think we can, if you are okay with that, pass to that part of presentation.
Yeah.
And, you know, still get in touch later on to share the presentation with everybody so that they can ask specifically about what we can do for them, what they can learn, and how we can help them to, once they finish their studies, land a job in Germany.
Sure, we can do that, Patricia. That's not a problem. You can share the presentation.
Kim?
Pass it on.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Great.
Let's pass it on to Akshat. That's what he's here for.
Perfect. So I'm just gonna move forward the slides.
Yeah.
You see a lot of nice teachers that we want to introduce you, but it's just so long.
We just
we'll pass you all this information. You can see some of the companies we work with and some great examples of career success of some of our Indian students in the past. But I'm just gonna pass it to Akshat to talk about life in Hamburg.
Can you give me the control?
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So to start off with, this is our this is where KLU is located. It is right by the harbor. I think I don't have the control. Yeah. So this is a university, and you can see students enjoying snacks right outside the university, enjoying the view. And let's just go around what's there in Hamburg for you to explore, and then we'll get to my experience. So this is Elfi. It's right. You can see it from a university, and it's a big theater. You can enjoy all shows over here, and we get a pass at the beginning of the semester where you can go to various places in Hamburg and visit it once things open up. So even I didn't have the chance to experience it yet because of the pandemic lockdown. But I think soon the situation is getting better. And so the thing about KLU is that about Germany is that you get a semester ticket every semester where you can travel using the public transports. And the thing about Germany is that we also have boat rides as part of a public transport. So you can go on different boat rides, go to different places in Hamburg using the boats. So it's a good experience. And I think, okay, yeah. So another place to visit in Hamburg is Sternschanze, where you have a line, like you have so many pubs and bars that you won't feel short of things to do in Hamburg, enjoy the nightlife. And you can find a lot of KLU students right after their class in Sternschanze. If not in Sternschanze, then we also have a place called St. Pauli, where people generally like to hang out and enjoy the nightlife of Hamburg. So Hamburg is actually known for its nightlife in Germany. And once things open up, definitely by the time you guys come in, it will be things will get better, and you can enjoy all the things that you want to. It's just a glimpse of what to do in Hamburg, depending on what you really want to do. Depending on what your preferences are, you can also go for hikes, go around Germany. We have special discounts for students, so you can visit different parts of Germany, even the other European countries, using your visa. So you don't have to spend a penny more for entering a different country, a different EU. I think you already know that if you are looking for coming to Europe. Then okay, so let's talk about how your first day in KLU looks like. So you get to visit your friends, your colleagues from different backgrounds. Like Patricia said, everyone's from a different background. So you get to know them, you share your experiences. And the thing about KLU is that the course is completely in English. Like I said, it's a practical course, a practical based learning program. So you generally don't write many exams, but you research about the topics, about the things that's happening in your class, and then you have case studies, different projects that you have to work in groups or individually, discuss with the professors, the PhD students, and work it out. So it's not more, it's not like a rote learning university that focuses on rote learning, but more on your more on practical based learning. So this is how your first day looks like. You have chance to visit different breweries, different places in Hamburg. Like I said, the classes are very limited. Like you have around 50 to 60 students in a class. So you have that personal interaction with the professors. All our professors are reachable right after the class. So I have actually reached out to a lot of professors regarding different topics, not only regarding our studies, but also other interesting topics that the professor is working on. Get information about it. Also work with them about some internships or some future job opportunities that you can have. So currently we are studying entirely online because of the pandemic, but the university has made it interactive enough to actually not feel. I mean, you'll always feel that difference between an online and offline setting, but the online setting currently is interactive. It's not just one-way communication, like everyone's having the cameras off or just listening to the professor. We actually continuously interact. We have different tutorial sessions where you practically work with your colleagues. We have this app called Kahoot, where the professor continuously keeps on giving quizzes. So they know that you are on you are understanding what the professor is trying to communicate. We have a platform called Moodle, where you can always come back because some students are on different time zone. You can always come back to Moodle, check out the video lectures, and ask questions later on regarding what was covered. If you didn't understand anything, you can quickly drop a mail, or you also have a discussion forum on Moodle where you can post your questions and have discussion with other batchmates and also the professor. So there are a few student groups at KLU. So UniConnect is one of such groups. So this group helps in linking professionals to the students. So if you have and also takes like before the pandemic, we used to have various excursions, and UniConnect was responsible for organizing such excursions. So there were trips to Hapag-Lloyd, Airbus, then to BMW manufacturing factory. Everything was taken care by the university. Then there's the student ambassador program. Like I'm part of this program, and we share our experiences and tell how the student life is in KLU. Help the students, the future coming students, to get on board with the university and with German regulations, and how to do and what to do in Germany. Next, we have a student consulting group called Advice Apply. So in this, we take up practical consulting projects from different industries, and we work on them for one semester and present a case. So what this does is that you can actually have a contact with different industries and work on real-time projects while studying at the university. So I've been working with this group as well, and currently we have completed, we have 3 projects this semester that we are going to submit, and we already have projects for next quarter and for the summer break that we are going to have. So it's an active group with possibilities of connecting with people from different industries and taking up different projects. Lastly, I would like to talk about the events. So KLU is never short of events. We have a startup day. We have an Oscar night where people make short clips and present it. They dress up in suits and come for a party. We have parties like welcome back party, where we have also we have this semester exchange program where students can go to a different university and experience the culture over there in that country, or also gain knowledge from a different university and make contacts with the students over there. Also, so after this third semester, it's generally in third semester for the master's program. So after this, we have a small party where we welcome back the students who have just come from their master semester, their exchange semester, and discuss about their experiences. And we have a Christmas party. So this is what KLU is all about. It's not just learning; it's fun and learning. And I hope I see you guys there. Also, there are some things that I would like to share about Germany. Like, so here at KLU, you are supported with finding the accommodation for the first semester, so you don't have to worry about, okay, so where will I live, what will happen. You have a student dorm over here in Germany. Like, not only in Hamburg, but every part of Germany has student dorms where you can apply and get an accommodation. So we generally have different house parties right now. So you don't have to worry about being locked out currently. So we just go out with our friends. We have some coffee or something, and it's a great time in the dorms. So you have people from different countries, like different countries. You have Germans, you have Indians, you have Africans, you have Asians from different Asian countries. You have Americans. So you don't feel like you are the only one, or you are not only interacting with your Indian colleagues, but you're interacting with everyone and sharing different experiences. So also about moving to Germany, what I would like to say is that there's lots of paperwork. Like, you have to do city registration, you have to do your visa process. Everything has to be systematic, but the university helps you, even if and not only the university, but your colleagues also help you. And it becomes very easy once you are here, so you know what to do. And about the consultancies, what I would like to say is that at this time, like, I also came through a consultancy. And what happened was that I joined in very late. I was late in the game, but with the help of a consultancy, I was able to submit my application on time. I had also about the visa process, they helped me preparing the documents, because the German embassy you requires a certain number of documents in certain order that you have to have. Otherwise, you again have to take the hassle of going to the embassy again, submitting it to the consulate and submitting the documents. So the consultancies generally help you in preparing all the documents, and also for the appointments. If you're coming from Delhi, then there's this issue of not finding the appointments. So I think my consultancy helped me a lot with like, for making calls for the appointment. So that's a merit of coming to Germany using a consultancy. That's all I have to share right now. So if you have any questions, you can definitely ask me.
Thank you, Akshat, for this brief introduction on KLU, your life in general in Germany. I think this is a really helpful information directly coming from a current student who is at KLU. And I think you are having a great time and experience at KLU, and this is what makes KLU special. And also for our students to know, to understand that why KLU could be one of their preferred choice. Thank you once again. I think we are pretty short with the time, so I'm going to jump in directly to the question and answers, and then we will wrap it up in the next 10 minutes at max, because that's the time we got now in hand. We have the forum open. Students, please start putting your questions in the chat. Whatever questions you have, please try to ask the questions related to supply chain or Hamburg or business management studies, but we also try to answer the questions which are more in general also. So please start putting it. We'll take it on priority basis, first with supply chain and followed by general questions. Start putting it in your chat box, please. So one of the student asked the question about what about the agricultural in Germany? What are the jobs availability in agriculture sector in Germany? Patricia, you want to take this up? A bit of information on agricultural jobs in Germany?
Um, yeah, I mean, I will have to say I'm not an expert in agriculture, and it's also not a specific part of what we offer at KLU. So um, I don't have a lot of insight on it, really. I would say that if you, I mean, if you're an engineer within the agricultural field, and you already have a bachelor's, I will recommend you to study still a master's in Germany. If you already have a master's, then maybe you have a better a better chance. When it comes to like more unskilled jobs in agriculture, that is not agriculture engineering, I will say the chances are smaller. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, give it a try. I think that's something that you will have to nevertheless research a little bit more into. Agriculture is not a background that is traditionally accepted in KLU for the master in supply chain. However, we always accept different backgrounds, although we are searching for people who has a business background or economics. There is many engineers that have done enough business courses in their bachelors. So if you have an engineer in agriculture, then maybe it will be a right choice for you, but you will have to have completed some business courses in order to apply to KLU and do a master's at our university.
Perfect. Thank you. The next question is from Ayushi. If I'm studying economics in undergrad and want to do my master's in Germany, will I get the same opportunities in supply chain and logistic as a business student?
Yes,
yeah.
actually, yes. So business economics and management are the three overall bachelors that we, let's say, have a direct acceptance of, because we are focusing that they have enough business concepts in their bachelors. So if you already have an economics bachelor's, that will be the perfect background for you to apply to the supply chain management program. And of course, it will depend on other factors, your English, your grades, and etc. But that is precisely the profile that we're looking for.
So looks pretty sorted. Ayushi, yes, you have a possibility to get into a master's program in supply chain. Another question from Anisha. What is the eligibility criteria? Anisha, can you please elaborate regarding looking for admissions in bachelor's or master's at KLU? Then the eligibility could be explained. Kishore asked for average salary you can get in India. I think you got to have a purchasing power parity difference. Kishore doing a master's in Germany and coming back and working in India, you got to equate it accordingly to the standards of living which we have in India, and accordingly, I think you can anticipate the salaries which you can get even after doing masters from Germany. There's a question from Lashmi. She's an engineering student. Can she get into a master's at HCM? I think so. She could.
Depending on the engineering and depending whether she has enough business courses, but she is very welcome to send EUGateway the application and her transcripts and documents, so we can offer a pre-check. That is something that we offer only through our consultancy, our trusted partners. So if you want to have a pre-check on whether you will be eligible or not without actually filling the application and paying the application fee, that's something that you can do through EUGateway.
Okay, great. Another question from Mani. He already has one master's degree from India. Can he go for another MBA or a supply chain management program at KLU?
Yes, encouraged. The Germans care much more about the masters that you have in Germany. I can assure that. And the fact that you have already a master's in India, it is very beneficial for you because you will be coming with more expertise. So as we said in the slides, when you enter the job market after you finish your studies, that expertise, that experience that you have gathered already will be also accounted for your salary expectations and for the type of positions that you have already held. So yes, very encouraged.
Perfect. Ayushi asked about any entrance exam which she needs to take or any test which she needs to write to get into KLU for masters.
No, if you have the right bachelor degree and if you have the business courses that are required, there is no extra exams in order to enter KLU. You only have to take your English proficiency test so that you can prove that you have enough English proficiency, but that's all.
Perfect. So Anisha asks, is there any civil engineering master's program at KLU? I think no, there's no civil engineering program.
No civil engineering, but we have had civil engineers join the supply chain, and it's also it's also a way of going.
Yeah. Harmish asked for mechanical at KLU. I don't think so there's any mechanical masters at KLU either, Harmish.
No.
May I add something?
Yes, Akshat, please.
So I have done my mechanical engineering from NIT Jaipur back in India, and then I have a 2-year work experience. So if you are a mechanical engineer looking forward for a career in supply chain, is a very good opportunity, and I would recommend you to look into it.
Thank you, Akshat. And we have some questions on the eligibility criteria to get into master's degree at KLU. Ayushi and Anisha both asked the same questions. So maybe Patricia, you can quickly.
Yeah, I can explain it very fast. So the eligibility criteria is to have a bachelor's degree completed from a recognized university in the German system. The bachelor's degree has to be either in business, economic, or management. If it's not in either of those three, we will consider other degrees as mechanical engineer, industrial engineer, and there's a lot of engineers coming in. Always when you have enough business courses, you need to have at least 3 business courses, 3 valid business courses that you have course already in your bachelor's or in your previous experience. So if you have, for example, a master's already in India, that could count as well. And 3 minimum for your application to be considered, and 4 before the starting of the program. So if you are lacking 1, you still have time to make it up till September when the program starts. And other than that, just the English proficiency test, that it will be equivalent to a 6.5 band in IELTS. And that's it.
Yeah, I think that's
coming with a lot of fun in your body to have fun, KLU.
Yeah. Arzu asked, I want to do a PhD, but I would be able to study abroad if there is a scholarship for me. Any scholarships available for PhD program at KLU?
Cayman?
I'm not sure, actually. I just know that currently we don't have any open positions for PhD. We're only looking for senior researchers who already have a PhD.
Okay.
But I think it would be best to ask the contact persons on our website listed for PhD if there are any financing options, because PhD programs are not within our department, so we don't know anything about those. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. So I can just add to it for Arzu, there are PhD positions available outside KLU. There are a lot of German universities which offer structured or non-structured PhD positions. It entirely depends on the topic or your thesis which you want to do your research upon, and then accordingly you can apply for these positions. There are paid PhD programs and non-paid PhD programs. There are programs giving you a stipend as well, but then you got to do a bit of a research in terms of what kind of PhD program you are looking for. Is your topic for your thesis ready, and where you are able to contribute towards these research programs within the department of a university. Kind of a tedious process, but then if you are able to find that particular niche of yours, then yes, you get paid, you get stipend, and it's absolutely free of cost for you. Okay, I have a couple of last minutes left now. Hemant Reddy is asking about civil engineering jobs. Hemant, I'll take on one-on-one with you for this. For civil engineering jobs in Germany, I'm sure there are civil engineering jobs available. It entirely depends on your previous academic skills, your professional experience, and how you complete your master's degree. And then there's a possibility for sure for civil engineering jobs as well. Of course, German language would play a role as well. Can I get to know about bachelor's degree in commerce related field? Kim, maybe you would like to answer this from Adit.
Yeah, so as I said before, we offer a bachelor's degree in business administration, which is not exactly commerce, But if you are definitely into the commerce, then I would suggest looking at other business schools in Germany as well as public universities. But yeah, our Bachelor in Business Administration is a mix of core business courses, some mathematics, some statistics, and then different types of profiles where you can choose one from. We have international management, sustainable management on the management side, and then we have supply chain management and something more related to data, which is called management information systems on the more technical side. So be sure to check that out if that is something that you're interested in, or find other commerce related subjects at other universities.
I hope that helps. Okay, I think that was the last question we had within the chat. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly share my screen with the last slide, which is how EUGateway can help all of you students putting up your plan to come to Germany and help you through with the entire process. This is these are our services. We help you through with these 18 different procedures, all the way from profiling to your goal clarity to helping you through building your application story, your documentation, which is essay, resume, motivational letter, your scholarship essays. So if you are applying for a PhD program, or there is a requirement of a pre-research proposal to do your master's degree, we also help you draft that and review as well. Test preparation strategies, GMAT, TOEFL, GRE, IELTS, your university research and due diligence, your university shortlisting, applications, and applications to universities, the preparation for the admission interviews, visa guidance, financial documents, and then accommodation. And we also continue with our assistance services once you are in Germany for your entire period of education, or minimum of 2 years of assistance. This is all what EUGateway provide you as a company. You are more welcome to connect with us directly or any of our team members for further inputs of how we can be useful to you in your journey towards applying to various universities, or to applying to KLU or any shortlisted universities which you already have in mind, but you are stuck at possibly one of these steps which has been mentioned here. We'll be very happy to guide you through. Thank you. And lastly, once again, I would say thank you so much, Patricia and Kim, our guests from Hamburg, and also Akshat, to joining us on the Saturday morning. I know it's hard to bring in people on Saturday and Sundays, but you've been really, really graceful enough to join us for these weekends and help our students to understand more about studies in Germany, higher education in Germany, supply chain management in Germany, and helping them through with their question and answers. And I think this has been really helpful session, and we look forward for your continuous support and many more events like these in the coming days. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Kim. Your closing
Thank you, Sumit. I just wanted to mention that we'll make sure to send along the presentation and an explanatory email for that part that we didn't get to cover today, so that people have a better understanding of how we operate and how we can help them to go to this next stage in their lives. So thank you so much, Sumit.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day.
All right, then thank you everyone for your participation today. You will get more information from all of us as well, and any information which you need, please feel free to text us, message us, email us. We would be happy to answer it through. Perfect. Then wishing you a great weekend. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Thank you for now.
Awesome. Bye.